Another once popular argument for the priority of Mark comes from the presence of Semitisms, or distinctively Jewish words, in the text of Mark. The assumption is that Semitisms indicate temporal priority in view of the fact that Jesus was Jewish, and so Semitisms represent words which were most likely original to Jesus. Further, it assumes that later Christian writers would have been motivated to reduce the number of Semitisms in their writings in order to appeal to the increasing number of Gentile Christians. W.D. Davies and Dale Allison ask us, how then do proponents of Matthean priority account for the 6 Semitic expressions found in Mark but not in Matthew? In the first place, even if we grant, for the sake of argument, that Christians writing to Gentile audiences would have been motivated to reduce the number of Semitisms in any given gospel, there is no obvious reason to think that Semitisms necessarily indicate temporal priority, because we don't know exactly who the original audience of any particular gospel might have been. It is entirely possible for a later document to be written for a substantially more Jewish Christian community, and therefore to include additional Semitisms. But more than this, it is doubtful that Matthew and Luke really do exhibit a desire to include fewer Semitisms than Mark. Matthew in particular tends to have much more of an eye towards Jewish interests than the other synoptics, suggesting that he may have had a substantially Jewish audience. Ward Powers sums things up nicely. It is as valid to argue that Mark changed Matthew's Greek to his preferred style, or in order to reflect Peter's use of such Semitisms in his preaching, as that Matthew changed it the other way. We seem to be dealing here with the personal preferences of an author rather than a decisive proof of relative antiquity. Moreover, the evidence concerning Semitisms in general indicates that Matthew has the highest level of Semitisms in the New Testament, followed by Luke, while Mark has only about 55% as many as Matthew. It is thus very difficult to argue that Matthew and Luke had the redactional tendency of avoiding Semitisms.